The topic chosen for today's discussion is the revision in Civil Procedure Code 1908 under section 115. So we are going to see how the revision exercise is being exercised by the High Court for the decreed cases in subordinate courts, and wherever the appeal does not lie it will take the cases where the appeal does not lie. Only in such cases the revision can be taken up in High Court, and appeal may be in other subordinate to the High Court also, but usually in a High Court the revision exercise, the revision petition can be taken up. So first we will see what is the meaning and generally what it refers to. So it refers to the section 115 empowers the High Court to entertain the revision on any case decided by the subordinate court. So the High Court can exercise the revision of the decision of subordinate courts where there is the decision taken by the subordinate court is found to be erroneous or not in accordance with the law or in capricious manner. In such of those cases the revision can be taken up by the High Court. So revision on any case decided by the subordinate court, power to call, and being the court of records, the High Court has the power to call any record from the lower courts that is decided by the lower courts. So on the final degree taken up by the lower courts, in such of these cases the High Court can call for the records for the review. And then revision meaning, what is the meaning of revision? Revision means to revise or to look again or view to improving or correcting to the error. So some of the error of law has been committed by the lower court in such of those, or in error of jurisdiction. There are various types of jurisdiction, pecuniary, territorial jurisdiction, and all those jurisdiction are there. So whenever the High Court found that the subordinate court has not followed the jurisdiction of its power, then such of those cases can be taken up by the High Court. Then correcting to the error of jurisdiction if subordinate court appears. This is the meaning. So whenever the decreed cases by the lower court is found to be capricious or not in accordance with the law, then to revise it or to look again or view to improve or correcting to the error of jurisdiction, thus the High Court can take up the decided cases by the lower court. When revision petition can be taken, in case of the revisional jurisdiction, so the High Court is with the revisional jurisdiction. So accordingly the High Court can take up the cases. So when what are the factors to decide the cases to be taken by the High Court? One is to have failed to exercise jurisdiction so vested. So if at all if the lower court failed to exercise jurisdiction or the limit of power, probably it may be the cause of pecuniary or geographical jurisdiction, then such of those cases can be taken up by the High Court for revision. Then to have acted illegally while exercising jurisdiction. So the lower court have acted illegally in deciding the jurisdiction. And to have failed to, another important thing, so some certain powers are vested with the lower court. When it failed to exercise the powers vested with the lower court, then the revision can be taken up. And if it is acted over and above the vested powers also, then the petition can be taken up by the High Court. Then the last one is to have acted with material irregularity. While exercising jurisdiction, material irregularity is there, then the case can be taken up for revision. Then condition for filing revisions. What are the conditions to be satisfied for revision? A case must have been decided. Already the case must have been decided by the lower court. Then second thing, court which will decide a case must be subordinate to the High Court. So the decision from the lower court which must be subordinate to the higher court. Then the order should be appealable, but no appeal lies, but it should be in the form of appealable. So it should have the ingredients for appeal to the higher court from where the decision taken. And then who may apply for revision? Overall eligible to apply for revision. The aggrieved party can go for revision petition to review to take up the decreed cases. And then second thing, right to revision is a subordinate substantive right. That is, substantive right means right vested with the party. So it is to establish the substantive right. And court cannot entertain on suo motu. So usually the court itself cannot take up the matter on its own. If the matter can be taken up by the High Court, that is called suo motu. But in this case, it cannot be. The court cannot take the matter on suo motu. But in certain cases, it can call for records on suo motu. Then who may apply for revision? That we have seen. Alternative remedy. So usually the revision petition does not lie when there is alternative remedy is available for the decreed cases by the lower courts. So when there is no alternative remedy available, then only the revision petition can be taken up. So the exercise of revision jurisdiction is in the discretion of the court. It is purely the discretion of the court. If at all, it can be taken up by the court if it thinks fit, then it will take. Otherwise, it will not. When there is alternative remedy available, so it will leave it to the alternate remedy. Then and when efficacious remedy is available, when other effective remedy is available, rather than this revision petition, it cannot take up the cases for revision. Court may not entertain the review petition under section 115. So section 115 gives wide power only to the jurisdictional failure in exercise of jurisdictional matters. Then another thing, limitation. What is the limitation? Within how many days the revision petition can be made? So within 90 days from the period of decree. So decree is given today means 90 days. After 90 days, the revision petition can be given to the court. So the limitation power is 90 days from the date of decree. And suo motu. So the exercise of power being the court of record, the power to call for the records from the lower court is vested with the High Court. So High Court on its own can ask for the records from the lower courts. Then doctrine of merger. Doctrine means it is like ideology. The merger means that is combining. So order of subordinate court gets merged with the decision of the or order passed by the High Court. Already it is there, the degree made by the subordinate courts, but whenever the degree made by the High Court on revision petition, so the subordinate court degree is merged with the High Court revisional degree. Then a recording of reason. Always it is stipulated that the reason for taken up the case for revision is to be recorded by the High Court. That is mandatory. And another thing, the last one is, what is the difference between appeal and revision? Appeal, the cases are taken by lower court, but revision only by high court. The revision petition can be made and it can be decreed. Then second thing, the only on decree, from the decree only the appeal lies, but the revision is lies from any decision of the lower court, subordinate to higher court. And then it is to emphasize the substantive right. That is, the appeal is to emphasize or enforce substantive right. Here that is discretionary right. Here it is known as, the revision petition is known as discretionary right. Then it is the question of fact or law is the major point to entertain the for appeal. Here lies on the jurisdiction error. So revision is mainly for the jurisdiction of error. And the difference between appeal and reference. Appeal right conferred on suitor. So a person when make a suit, it is his right to go for appeal. Then here the reference is vested on court. Usually the lower court, the high court, lower court may refer a case to the high court. So that is the vested in court, and file to the sub court. Usually the reference is always to the higher court. That is, the appeal is wider than the reference. And then the appeal and the review the difference. Appeal lies to that is superior subordinate courts. That is the, even whether it is the same court, review on the same court, the appeal lies to superior court than where the degree was made. So the appeal lies always with the higher court. But in review, in the same court, the already degree passed, in the same court the review has to be made, and the judge who decided the case has to inquire or review the case again, because he is only competent and he only thoroughly know how the proceedings were went. So the person who decided the judgment have to take up the review. And then the different judge in appeal, there may be different judges, but in review the same judge, the same court. And appeal is wider than the review. So revision petition என்பது ஹையர் கோர்ட்டில், ஹை கோர்ட்டில் மட்டும் எடுத்துக்கொள்ளப்படுகிறது. அந்த அதற்கு ரிவைஸ் ஆர் எரர் ஆஃப் லா ஆர் த லோயர் கோர்ட் ஹஸ் ஆக்டட் இன் கெப்ரிஷியஸ் மேனர், இதெல்லாம் காரணங்களை வைத்து அந்த ரிவிஷன் பெட்டிஷன் எடுத்துக்கொள்ளப்படுகிறது. இது யார் கொடுக்கலாம் என்றால் அக்ரிவ்ட் பார்ட்டி கொடுக்கலாம். பெரும்பாலும் சுயோமோட்டாக எடுத்துக்கொள்ளப்பட மாட்டாது. ஆனாலும் ரெக்கார்ட்ஸ் கால்ஃபர் பண்ணும்போது சுயோமோட்டோ செய்யலாம். சுயமோட்டோ என்பது தானாகவே அந்த கோர்ட்டானது வழக்குகளை எடுத்துக்கொண்டு அதனை விசாரித்து தீர்ப்பு வழங்கும் அதற்கு சுயோமோட்டோ என்று பெயர். பிறகு இந்த ஆல்டர்னேட்டிவ் ரெமெடி இருக்கும்பொழுது ரிவிஷன் பெட்டிஷன் எடுத்துக்கொள்ளப்பட மாட்டாது. ஸோ வித் தீஸ் definitions we conclude the revision.